dog. I can't take a loss, watch your mouth in the weak.
Somebody asked me to shed light on something that happens or was happening, I don't know if it's still happening, at Lancaster County Prison. Now, he told me that in Lancaster County Prison, they get no fruit, no vegetables, and the only bread they get is a dinner roll. He said there's no heat, there's no air, and it's so cold in the winter that they give everybody sweatshirts, and then they give them extra blankets, and he said the water tastes like salt. So he said if I could shed light on that, I said, okay, I'll do it. Another guy overheard me and said, well, hey, why don't you talk about Berks County? Because Berks County have you locked in 21 and 3. They take your mattress from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
What?
And if you go to the RH, yeah, that's what he told me. I said, bro. So I didn't check with nobody, but I have to check with somebody else from Berks County. This is Reading. So he said they take your mattress from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can't have your mattress. And if you go to the RHU, a lot of times you get food loaf. And food loaf, for those that don't know, is all your food mixed in one, and like it's like a loaf. I don't know what to call it, but it's like this, maybe a block like this big, right? So let's say if you got pineapples, let's say greens, mashed potatoes, and meatloaf. That's all going to be in one thing, bunched up together, and that's your food.
That's all. It's all 3 meals in one. The loaf is like that.
I didn't know.
Unless it changed. But I know some people who liked it.
No, but listen, is that given as a punishment? Like, how can you punish?
Yeah.
Why would you punish me with mixing my food like that? And then he also said that the doors are covered, so it's like you got this this door that you slide up for your medication and your food. So he said throughout the day that thing is just covered. Could you imagine living like that? And this is Berks County.
So you have no mattress, and you're locked in a cell, and you have no window?
No. All you got is that slot on the door. So I'm thinking, right? So when I be seeing these movies, I'm like, oh, that's just dramatization for the public, but I guess it ain't, because I've seen movies where they got the slot and that's all that's there. No sunlight, nothing else. But that slot, and you see these guys going crazy after a certain amount of days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, get the hell out of here. But I guess it can happen.
When I was first arrested, I did another bid before this bid. I was a juvenile, and it was a drug case again. And I was arrested in Cleburne, Texas, next to Blum, and that's where the actual chainsaw massacre happened. And the 2 brothers were in this jail, and they put me in the hole there at 17. And I remember them saying this is where they kept those brothers. And there was no light, there was no window to the outside, and there's a little block like that's your window, but they keep it covered most of the day, depending on the guard. Some alright guards will come and leave it open, and the light was like, it was fading, and then towards the end of my whole sentence, it started to flicker, and I started to lose it, man.
That is.
I don't even remember how long I did. I lost my mind in Camp Hill's hole. I remember thinking 2 years went by, and actually only 3 months went by. But I saw it snow. I thought spring came, and then snowed again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been.
As I was reading his report, it was saying like it was crazy, man, because it was like he went on a hunger strike once to not go to the hole. He said he would rather die of starvation than to go back to the hole. It just blew my mind. Blew my mind.
You're talking about the county jail. If you think about it, that's where you're supposed to be construed as innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Isn't that crazy? I always thought that was crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of that, right? So you got America is supposed to be a democracy and free country, But we've talked about this. I think we've talked about this before. You have the 13th Amendment that has that little clause that says unless. Now, how as a society can the people get rid of that unless? So let's just say they got rid of slavery for everybody, meaning prisoners as well. They always complain about the economy. You know how much that would boost the economy? Because now we're taxpayers. So you got maybe 2 million people in prison that were making slave wages, now making what, let's just say minimum wage.
Yeah.
That would boost the economy. Do you agree or not?
I'm always telling people that we need to incorporate the rarest commodity out here is time. People just don't have time. And in there, what's the most abundant commodity? Time.
That's all we got.
If we were to outsource some of these jobs, even like some of these AI jobs, video editing or, whatever computer stuff, if there was a computer room there and people could go in there and type or whatever, think of the money that would be saved and the stress that would be mitigated. It
definitely can. If you're going to use people, I mean, you just gotta pay. I mean, listen, you know how many dudes would be happy with minimum wage?
Yeah.
Please just give me some background on the guy that was murdered yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
Charlie Kirk, is that his name? Now I don't know nothing about him. My celly knows. He was trying to fill me in. Like I don't watch much of the news. I just know I seen it. Breaking news. Now my celly says he's a conservative. I don't know much about him.
He's big on platforms like TikTok, podcast, Facebook, Instagram, all those. I see him all the time as I'm flipping through those. What he does is he goes around the United States and visits the college campuses, and he'll have a little platform. I think the slogan is "Prove Me Wrong," and people will step up to the podium and talk about, every issue. The Second Amendment, of racism, transgender is a big one, college, and he challenges everybody who's there, and he proves them all wrong, man. And people couldn't handle the truth. That's what a lot of people are saying now, and that's why somebody shot him. People were getting mad, but he was quick with the whip. You know what I mean? Like the comeback. Like he could say what everybody would think, later on. When you think like, oh man, I wish I would have said that. He would say that.
Right.
He could come up with that.
My celly said he did say something about there should be more people in jail in America. I didn't catch that, but that's what he was saying.
No.
I don't know if he actually said that. Okay, all right. Well, maybe he was mixing two stories or something. I was like, why would he? I don't think that would be wise.
He was, he was against, crime, the violence, immigrants coming in illegally, and a lot of people would challenge that. A big thing was they just raided some big construction company down in, I think, Florida, and a lot of their workers were illegals. So that construction company is actually like shut down right now, and the list of their tasks that they have to do are pretty important, like school buildings, stuff like that. So people are like, is this the president that you voted for? Is this what you really wanted? And people like Charlie Kirk would say, yeah, this is exactly what we voted for. One of the things I came up with was, the companies that we have now, they should be paying their employees more. They could be paying their employees more. They're getting so used to paying the illegals, and even then, if they would have came into this country legally and got a job legally, they should be getting paid a lot more than what they were. And companies have a lot to blame in this, I think.
Interesting.
Now, how do you feel about that? That construction company was down because their workers were illegal, and the buildings that they were supposed to build, a lot of the construction was important. How do you feel?
I believe, to me, I say live and let live, man. Why would you? I just say live and let live. Now, some people say, nah, they're illegal, they're not supposed to stay here, they're here illegally, but If you don't cause a problem with anybody, what's the problem?
Even if you're talking about an illegal.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go down this road.
I know. Listen, that's the topic. I mean, there's people on your side. There's people on your side. I mean, you know me, I'm open-minded. If you can prove me wrong, if you can change my mind, I would be glad to change my mind. If you could give me a good reason. And yes, the families that are getting divided, everybody knows I have a strong heart for women and children and families. So to see them divided, it does hurt. But to come in this country, illegal, and I do believe that, when they do round these people up, they should have a process where they look at it and say, well, dang, this family has been maintaining a household for whatever, so many months, so many years. He has a job. Maybe we could fast track him through whatever, to become a citizen. I feel like that should be a process.
Sometimes I wonder when they come, why won't they become legal? Like, I don't know if it's a strenuous, like, I don't know the whole process. I just think, like, if I'm here and I want to stay here, I'm going to do everything I can to abide by the law so I can stay. Like, I'm leaving this alone. I'm leaving that alone. Okay, you're not supposed to be here, but if you just live and let live.
Well,
I'm off that.
Do you want me to bring up another one of the hard topics? See, these are the topics he used to challenge, and you could see why people would get mad.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave them political stuff alone.
What about racism? Reparations.
What about it?
Reparations.
Reparations.
How do you feel about reparations?
So basically, them giving black people stuff for all the things that were done to us in the past?
Yeah. Basically, to cut a check to all the African Americans now for slavery, for what had happened to the ancestors of the African American race.
Well, of course I'm going to say yes because I would want money. So I'm going to go with, yeah, I mean, I'm African American, so give me a check.
But do you think it's right? I mean, yeah, you want money, I want money, but do you think it's right to accept that money?
Of course I'm going to accept it. I think...
But do you think it's right? You want to leave this one alone?
I would say yes. I would say yes.
All right.
I would say yes.
Do you want to explain?
Go ahead.
No, I'm asking you. Do you want to explain why you think it's right? Because I'll tell you what Charlie Kirk would say.
Give me what he says.
All right, he would say, let me see if I can get this right, because he can do it quick too. You want me, who did not enslave you, or my family enslaved your family, you want me to pay you, who you also were not enslaved or had to go through anything. That's how he would say that. And then he would say, I don't think that that's fair. I shouldn't have to pay for something that, even my ancestors had nothing to do with.
Right.
And
right.
You didn't have to suffer through. And then one of the arguments the other person made was, yeah, but we're still dealing with that suffrage, racism.
Right.
So
well, that's not going nowhere for sure.
Do you want to tackle it?
If it was coming if it was coming strictly from the government and it didn't have to come from the taxpayers, then yeah.
So if it would come from Nancy Pelosi's one of her mansions, if they had to sell one of those.
No, I'm just saying the government itself, not the people that work for the government, just like maybe from some type of fund, not per se your money or somebody else's money, you know what I mean? It's strictly from the government, no one else.
But all of the money that the government has is from us.
It's taxpayers. It's the taxpayers. Right.
And well,
no
anything
politics.
extra, like I was saying, like Nancy Pelosi, that was illegally obtained. Their salaries
Right.
are, between 200 and 500, $600,000 annually. They're all multi-millionaires. Even other congressmen have called them out and said, I watched you inside trade. A young man made an app that tracked Nancy Pelosi and like her cronies, their trading, their stocks. I just thought of it today and I brought it up, and I wanted to look him up because we haven't heard anything about him or that app in a little while. But he made an app
So,
that basically you can trade stocks with whatever she's doing. You can inside trade with her.
inside trade with her.
Yeah, isn't that
I don't
crazy?
know. I don't know much about. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much at all about stocks.
When an example, when COVID hit, this congressman said, "I watched all of you run to the stock market, the stock exchange. As soon as
All right.
like they knew something was happening before it was going to happen. They knew what was going to sell."
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So they sold off stuff because they knew something was going to plummet.
Yeah, and they knew, like they had basically a hand
That
in
can't be
which
legal.
companies are going to, thrive and which ones aren't.
Which is why back during COVID, you saw members of Congress of both parties engage in a flurry of stock trading right after they were getting COVID briefings. Were members of the public getting those briefings? They were not. Were members of the public privy to the kind of information that was being given to members of Congress? No, they were not.
Ahead could be tough financially for a lot of Americans. Student loans start back up in January. The child tax credit expired this week with no extension yet in sight. And inflation is expected to continue into the new year, which made it all the more galling to lots of Americans across the political spectrum this week when Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the top Democrat in Congress, defended the right of her fellow politicians to trade stocks while they're in office.
Should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. This is a free market and people, we are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
And of course, not a lot of Americans have the freedom to put money into the markets like Nancy Pelosi can, who just 2 days before those comments was ranked by Business Insider as the 15th richest member of Congress with a net worth of more than $46 million. But just last year, alarm bells rang when several senators, Republicans and Democrats, with access to advance information on the pandemic, made a lot of money trading stocks. One of those lawmakers, retiring North Carolina Republican Richard Burr, is still under federal investigation after it came out that he and his brother-in-law spoke on the phone just before they both sold large amounts of stock weeks ahead of the pandemic crash. And this week, an investigation by Business Insider found that 49 members of the House and Senate failed to properly report their financial trades as the Stock Act requires. In case you're wondering, the breakdown was 20 Democrats and 29 Republicans.
Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I
and
wanted
what
to,
that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail.
This is institutionalized corruption. And I asked you point blank, do you own any individual stock? And you told me, no. Let's just look at it. It was not a difficult question. Do you own individual stocks, Madam Secretary? You said no. In fact, you repeated it 3 times to me. No, no, no. Turns out that was false. You did own multiple individual stocks, and you neglected to report it to this committee for months afterwards. Why did you mislead this committee?
Oh, my goodness.
That was exactly my response. So why did
Senator,
you mislead this committee?
I believed that I had sold all individual stocks.
Nobody should be up in Congress making a quick buck day trading when they should be doing the people's business.
Yeah, that can't be
That's
legal.
illegal. Exactly.
Yes, I was. Yeah. Now, go back to what you said about the reference. So that would be a form of communism, would it not be, to take from somebody that has and then give it to somebody else who doesn't?
Yeah.
Would that be a form of communism? Because I'm taking from everybody and just give it to one group of people.
Communism, I don't know. Maybe I read it wrong, but when I read communist, the definition, it's actually sounded sort of like it made sense, but maybe I read it wrong.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make sense to
You know,
you because let's say you're rich and you have to pay for somebody else. You know what I mean? Just like you said about the money to the African Americans, they would be taken from you. The same concept in a way, because it's got to be spread out equally. So the government would take what you have or take part of your land and then say, you know what, here, I'm gonna distribute out to everybody who doesn't have. Right? Is it kind of not the same, but
I'll read you what the definition is. Communism is a political and economic ideology aiming to establish a society with common ownership of the means of production where resources are distributed based on need, and there is no private property, no social classes, no money, or the state. It is a concept that encompasses theories like Marxism aims for a classless, stateless society, though there are significant debates and variations in how this goal might be achieved. See, I mean, it sounded like it made sense to me. Like it basically makes everybody equal.
Right, but you see who it came from. He was a bum. So obviously he wants a system where he can have something.
Karl Marx?
Somebody else has more. Yeah, he was shuffling around to different countries. He was living in squalor. He was him. You do a little search on who he was.
I know who he was.
If he
I
didn't
read
have
his book.
anything, I think he had like 6 or 7 kids or something. Or was one of 6, but he didn't have nothing. Yeah. So of course he wants to mooch off somebody else and say, hey, yeah, spread the wealth.
He was saying that society should be equal. There should be no high class. There should be no low class. Everybody should be middle.
All right, and his class was what when he was saying this? That's what I'm saying. So of course he's going to want a handout. You know what I mean? Like, of course, look at me, I'm suffering. I mean, he's supposed to be this great bond. Yeah, I'm suffering. Give me some of what you got. Let us all be equal.
You heard of the movie Twilight, right? The vampires?
Yeah.
The author of that.
Vampires.
The author of that. I can't remember. It's Stephanie something. She also wrote a book called The Host. What it is these aliens take over the planet and they need a host, which they attach themselves to humans and they make themselves a human, and you can't tell that they're an alien unless like their eyes, you look closely at their eyes or something like that. But after a while they redid the system. There was no money. When you went into a store, you got what you need. And everybody worked. Everybody had a position where they worked, and everybody got what they need.
No excess.
If you get a chance, read that. Actually, there's a movie out, but the book is a lot better.
So you think we have it in the library?
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
Yeah, because I think I read it there. I think I read it while I was in the hole.
I usually don't read fiction. Let me write this down.
And me either. But when you're in the hole, you read whatever you can get.
Yeah, I did a lot of.
Oh, Stephanie Myers.
Yeah.
That's the author's name.
I got it. I wrote it down. Stephanie Myers. And I got to remember not to throw this paper away.
But I thought that system, if we could apply that, but I mean, people are horrible. People are horrible. People out here are so horrible.
The new thing around here is everybody wants the Sumter case. Are you familiar?
No. Sumter?
Sumter, you can get your gun rights back after prison. So PA said, you know what? They're right. They quote a case called New York Rifle and Pistol Association, I think, versus Bruin, and it's another one. But yeah, people are like, you get your voting rights back when you get out. Most states, not all.
There's actually a big movement for gun rights, and I think they changed it. Yeah. I just watched some spokesman yesterday on TikTok. They were saying that, if you don't have, a crime that was violent, you should be able to own a gun. And they were changing. I don't know if they did change it, but they did something. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I didn't read the case, but from what guys were telling me, that I didn't read it myself, they were saying it shouldn't matter if your crime is violent or not. You have a right to bear arms.
Yeah, the Constitution. You're absolutely right. The Constitution, regardless of what you did, if we're gonna follow the Constitution like we're supposed to, it says that these constitutional rights shall not be abridged. And the second, number two in line, second in line, is the right to have a gun to protect yourself. Right. And it's crazy because the world's getting violent right now. I think often, like, what the heck am I supposed to do? And I can't even leave this country if I wanted to. And I want to.
Yeah, I can tell the violence because my buddy, I was on a virtual visit with him, and he took me, like, down my neighborhood. I'm like, where's everybody at? He's like, nobody comes out. Yeah. He said there's a lot of violence. It was like a desert. It was the middle of the day, and it wasn't that cold. It was winter, but it was like maybe beginning of October, and he took me down. It was like I was in a video game because he's like driving. I'm just like looking, and I'm amazed at seeing outside because I don't see outside, and there's nobody out. So I'm thinking he's going to take me down 52nd Street, and I'm going to see a bunch of people. You know what I saw? I saw 3 guys working out on this machine. I said, yeah, they were upstate. It's like it was like a, I don't know if it's like a piece of flatbed, but they had like a station for the pull-ups, a station for the dips, and some other things. I said, yeah, they were. I bet you they were upstate somewhere, because it looked like it was something they made themselves. But you know, upstate, you do a lot of pull-ups and a lot of dips, and they had this thing in the middle of 52nd Street.
We're the ones that are out, and even in these little towns, people don't go out, man. My nephew, 15 years old. He never came out of his house all summer.
That's crazy.
Never went for a walk, a bike ride, never played. Not one time all summer.
That's like, to not go outside as a kid, that was unheard. I had to get out.
Yeah.
Of course, my grandma watched me when my mom was at work. There was no sitting in the house under her. Now, of course, sometimes, you know, Saturday morning cartoons, maybe from 8 to 10. But after that, get the hell out. Don't come back to the street light, come on. But there's so much things to do. These kids now, to me, it's like all they have is this mobile device. But we had a ton of games we would play outside, whether it be taking the crate and putting a hole in it and hanging it up on a pole to something called, what the heck was it called? We would play tops, just all types of stuff. King ball, you know what king ball is?
Yeah.
Yeah, king ball, tops, dead man. Just it was so much to do. We would spin tops. King ball is you take it's a big square, KING, and a guy serves the basketball, and you gotta like hit it to him and try to get him out. So if he gets K, then he gets I, then he gets N, then G, then he's out the game. Maybe not. But we played handball, well, wall ball we would call it. But we just did so much. And my daughter now, I'm like, you going out? She's like, no. I'm like, why not? It's a nice day. I don't feel like it. She will go to a park and just read a book.
Well, at least that's getting out.
I mean, it is getting out. She does stuff now. When she was younger, she wouldn't go out as much. She does stuff now. She went and played basketball. I think she did some type of video of herself playing basketball, her and her girlfriend. I can't imagine her playing basketball. She's 4'9", so I would love to see that.
So how tall was Muggsy Bogues?
5'3". 5'3". But she says she shot this video. Her and her friend went to, I think she said Brewery Town in Philly, a section of North Philadelphia, and they played basketball. I'm trying to get her to play pickleball because you know I like that.
Yeah.
I got to play. I play tomorrow morning. I play Wednesday and Friday morning. Sometimes.
They said that was popular out here, but.
It's fun, man. Fun cardio. Pickleball.
You know, they just passed something in my town. They have, you know, those electric scooters and bikes, and these things go fast. I think the one goes up to like 70 miles an hour, and you don't need a license for those. And they have ones that you stand up on that go 50 and 70 miles an hour. I was going down the highway, and a scooter was next to me. This guy is standing on a scooter. I'm doing 55. He was on the median.
That's all it is, a scooter?
Yeah.
Show me, so you got a picture or one of them reels that you say comes up? Show me. Can you show me one?
Yeah. They just passed something saying that the electric bikes, the ones you sit on, you can now ride in the streets. Like it's legal for you to ride them in the streets. You have to abide by the traffic laws, but the stand-up ones you can't anymore.
That's crazy. I seen some. I was watching. I peeked up on my cellular's TV. He was watching Ridiculousness, which he watches all day. But I don't know how. But they had these Heelys, whatever that's called, like with the heels on the wheel. I said, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
He said they're Heelys. But, is that a thing out there still, or is that the old video that was being shown?
Yeah, that must have been old. They have now, like one wheel. You stand on it. I don't know how they can balance themselves, but it's one wheel. And it has pedals on the sides, and you can just, move your body, and that goes fast too.
Yeah, my brother's the motorcycle guy. He loves motorcycles and fast cars. I don't like that stuff.
What do you want to see? You want to see these things going down the road?
Yeah. That's an electric bike?
Yeah, those are all electric. There's some scooters there too.
Can you say they go up to how much? How fast?
Some of them go up to 70 miles per hour.
And you don't need a license for them things?
Nope.
Wow. I've seen them. Yeah, I wouldn't ride that.
Some of them look like, like futuristic, like on that one movie with Hobbs and Shaw. And this kid's riding it down Main Street, and he does a wheelie. And he rides a wheelie for a few blocks, but it's so cool to see because it makes no sound. So this motorcycle, basically, is doing a wheelie going like 40 miles per hour with no sound. That was pretty cool to watch. But yeah, it's very dangerous, man. Because they don't know traffic laws. They don't know...
Right.
I don't know how this is going to work.
It probably has no signals or nothing on it, so if they want to just go to the left, they just like cut you off, I guess, and just zoom on past you.
Yeah, I've had them cut in front of me. I actually drive slow because I just have, I guess, patience from being in there. I mean, everybody out here is in a hurry to get literally nowhere. So I watch people fly past me to get to the next red light. And fly past me to get to the next red light. And then we end up at Target together. It's like you were breaking your neck to get to Target?
Right. Yeah, I drove slow out there. Like I said, I don't like that. Me and my brother are opposite. He loves the speed. He loves the Corvettes and the motorcycles and all that stuff. I said, nah, you don't. He once got me in that. He had me in a Corvette, bro. I swear, he got from Southwest Philly to Wilmington, Delaware, and I swear about 10 minutes. He was flying, and I just like holding on to the seatbelt, holding on to the side of the door. I was terrified. I swear, he was just flying. He's in the left lane. Everybody's getting out of his way, and he has his vet, and he's doing whatever's on the speedometer. He's going.
I like those new Corvettes. What's new in there?
The Sumter case. Nothing.
Are you guys following the Derek Lee thing?
Yeah, I just got an email from the name of this place. We only got a couple minutes left. It's one of these organizations. She told me, and I guess
Daughters?
Tell by the message. No, not Daughters. Shoot, how do I save this?
Oh, you know where KC landed?
No.
He's in Somerset.
ALC/SA, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's an organization, and I can only guess that they're getting bombarded with a bunch of Derek Lee questions because the message she sent out was, when we know something, you'll know something. And I'm paraphrasing, but to sum it up, that's what she said. Because I can just tell she's getting a bunch of questions.
What's it called?
About that.
AL what?
ALS. Hold on. I never paste my tablet because somebody can just walk up. That's why I have to go. ALS/SA. Says something about a quick explanation on the status of Derek Lee appeal by the Supreme Court. They haven't set a timeline for their decision. They do things at their own schedule, blah, blah, blah. As soon as PA court makes a decision, we'll notify people. But I always tell people who come in the library, because they ask me the same thing, and I know what she's going through, they always ask me. I say, hey, download Google Alert. Whatever title you're looking for, or whatever you're trying to find out, when you download Google Alert, when something comes up on that topic, it alerts your phone. Do they do it? I don't know, but I seen that in one of the research. But no, I hope they do it. But I seen that in one of the legal research books back here. Anyway, we got 1 minute, man. I thank you for having me. I don't know.
You want to talk about your picture? Your picture that's going up?
Yeah, you talking about the Marilyn Monroes that I drew and other stuff? I mean, yeah, I'm trying to get rid of them.
You want to say
like them.
Like when you made it? When did you draw it?
It should be on there. I can't remember exactly when I made them, but I don't know if you put them somewhere for people to see. I know they're on my Instagram.
What did you use? Pencils, regular stuff?
Pencil.
Did you do it at Housedale?
I did it at House. I used I used a mechanical pencil and I used some portrait pencils.
Oh, the new numbers are out for how many kids in Pennsylvania have a parent in jail, and it's like 60,000.
Wow, that's a lot. I had an in-person visit as well, but the system is so goofy. I hope my buddy can get on because it's just so complicated. I don't understand. I guess there's still I don't know.
Everything that deals within there is deliberately arduous.
Yes.
If tell him if he has a problem, tell him to reach out to me. I can walk him through it or set it up.